Hey guys, this is a quick video overview of the Revit Sand 3 summer gloves. I've only had these babies for about 500 kilometers, so this is not a full review. And I'll split this video up into 4 segments. First, we'll talk about style, then we'll talk about construction, we'll look at the safety features of the glove, and we'll also look at fit and comfort. Alright, so let's get down to it. First things first, how do these gloves look? I've got the all black version with me, and Revit does sell these gloves in other colors. But I think this all black version is pretty stealthy. Revit hasn't made this a billboard. You've got the Revit typeface right there on the front. You've got the Revit hard plastic logo on the cuff, which is sliding armor, and an embossed Revit logo on the fingers, the index fingers of both these gloves. I think Revit has done a pretty good job giving these gloves a unique adventure look, which looks beefy, but they're pretty light and minimalist on the hands. So that's a pretty good job that the Revit designers have done. We'll now take a look at the kind of materials Revit's used on these gloves and the construction, the overall construction of the gloves as well. Goat skin leather for the palms is great. You know, this entire section is goat skin leather. Goat skin leather is great. They're very comfortable out of the box. And you've got goat skin leather on all the abrasion zones that you could possibly have on the glove. Revit's also sewn in something called PWR shield. This is right here. So see this whole thing? This whole thing is called PWR shield. It's not just mesh, it's not just polyester, it's something called polyamide fiber. Now polyamide fiber is a stronger material, and Revit also uses it on their more expensive textile jackets. So it's really nice to get this tech in a $100 glove. What's also awesome is that this PWR shield is full mesh in terms of construction, in terms of the knitting technique. And so they're really good for great airflow on the bike. You've also got a grip panel over the palm, and you've got double stitching in most places, and outer seams are reinforced. We'll have to see how this holds up on the long term though, and I'll tell you why. These are my older Sand Pro gloves, and look at what's happened to them. The seams have given way, the stitching's given way, and the fingers have opened up. Of course, these gloves have been through hell, 50,000 kilometers, and I haven't babied them at all. I hardly took care of them. No leather polish and the like. So we'll just have to see how these gloves hold up. On the inside of the gloves, you've got something called a tri-fleece liner. I don't think this is fleece at all. I think maybe it's something as comfortable as fleece. And this is strictly a 2-season glove. And if you live in the tropics, I could probably push this as a 3-season glove. But the liner feels seamless. They've done a pretty good job integrating it with the glove. It doesn't feel like a separate liner at all. There's no bunching up inside. It feels pretty tactile, and it's great. It's great on the controls of the bike. Now we'll move on to the next one, which is the big one, which is protection. And right on top, we've got injected thermoplastic rubber, or TPR. This is about 7 mm in height, if you can see here, and has a hexagonal design like Revit's own Seasoft armor. Now this rubber is flexible, it's elastic, and it's almost like memory foam. It self-contours to your hand when you wear it, and it offers fantastic flexibility and range of motion. You've also got the same stuff on the fingers, on the thumbs, and a big one on the palm, which is probably where you probably need it, because that's how you fall. How well does this rubber do on tarmac on a high slide? Personally, I think this kind of armor works really well for impact protection on light falls in the dirt. On the tarmac, on the road, I don't know. We probably got to find out. I definitely don't want to find out. But if any of you guys know how these gloves perform on the street, let us know in the comment section. We've also got hard plastic on the cuff, which is nicely done as a Revit logo. So this is hard plastic, and we've got foam here. There's no reflectivity, which is not a big deal for me. Your jacket or pants should have plenty of that. Now, how do these gloves feel on the hands? In short, they are pretty darn good. The fingers have stitching on the outside, so if you look at them, they've got stitching on the outside, but the seams, they don't look that big. They've been finished pretty well, and so there are no hot spots. At least I didn't find any hot spots when I rode with these the past 500 kilometers. The held sambias, on the other hand, the outer stitching on the held sambias are pretty big. They come out quite a lot, and they looked a little ugly as far as I'm concerned. And I think these have been done pretty seamlessly. Fingers have also been designed quite a bit wider. My fingers expand ever so slightly with more blood flow. You know, on long days on the saddle, I usually find that my fingers and my toes as well expand a little bit, and the extra wiggle room is well worth it. The Striker 3 gloves from Revit, which I used for a brief period before I gave it over to a friend, they have slimmer fingers, and I found my hands cramping up in those. So keep this in mind. If you have wider fingers or if you need more wiggle room, these are good gloves. For a summer glove, the cuffs are pretty long. They're longer than typical short cuff street gloves. They're great for additional protection because you get this additional sliding protection here, and they're also very good to keep the sun off your hands if your jacket sleeve rides up a little short. In winter days, or if you're going into a cold draft, it's great to have your jacket in here, and then you just put your gloves over, and you can keep the draft out. Revit's also got a small red finger loop to help get these gloves on, which you just saw me when I was fitting these gloves on, and I'll show you why these are such a great idea. Look at my Sand Pros. So when I fit my Sand Pros on, you see here, I got to pull this, and when I pull this, these seams give way. And so it's great that Revit's looked at this as a design issue and they fixed it on their new gloves. The Velcro pads have also been improved over the Sand Pro, the older ones. These are bigger pads, so that's great for extra adjustability. Maybe you've got a wider wrist, maybe you've got a smaller wrist, but it's great to have a wider Velcro pad. Great adjustability off the cuff. There's also Connect touch leather at finger and thumb tips. So I'll just show you how this thing works. And you can't see it, it's part of the construction. It's bloody brilliant. So there you go, that's great. So it works pretty well. There's also accordion panels on the fingers, if you can see here, and there's more PWR mesh. Great for better range of motion. Tiny perforations in the leather to keep your hands cool really hot days on the road. I found this pretty useful. So when I ride, what I do is I just sometimes get my hands off the bar, and I put my hands down here, and I get a lot of airflow. In terms of issues that I've had with the glove so far, just two. The TPR mold on the pinky and the thumb can cause a lot of irritation. I actually bruised a little, but I think you just got to man up and get through with it. The gloves are also, pretty stiff out of the box, so you wanna, maybe before you start riding, put them on at home when you're watching the telly and kind of just flex your hands a bit, and they should kind of break in quickly then. The fit, it seems fine for me. I wear a medium on the Sand Pro, the previous version of these gloves, and now the Sand 3s, I've got a medium as well, and they fit quite well. I think if you do a lot of dirt and adventure riding in hot weather, and if you commute every day, these are great gloves for the money, sub $100 depending on where you buy it from. These are phenomenal. Goatskin leather, rubber, thermoplastic rubber on, armor. They look great. They're minimalistic, but these are still early days. I'll come back with a short update on these gloves after about 5,000 kilometers. And until then, stay at home and stay safe, guys. Cheers.